Did you buy the dip? 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 No, man, I did not buy the dip. Guys, the number one question across the cryptoverse, did you buy the dip? And I asked because it seems to be the biggest question that, again, at least I'm seeing all over the internet. And if you've been around the channel, then you know that this is the number one question I hate absolutely the most. First of all, it is condescending as shit. Second of all, nobody even knows when the dip stops dipping. Did you buy the dip? Anyways, listen, we're going to be talking about if we bought the dip here because I made a video. Let me show you. I made a video. First of all, actually, hello. Nice to see you. I'm glad you're here. Your boy's back in Canada, okay? I'm back home, and I'm super excited to be back home, and we're going to lock the fuck in. So I'm very glad to be back. Let's go. But when I was in Cancun in June and I was making videos about how the crypto market looks horrible, take a look here. 7 days ago, 5 days ago, we were, you know, pretty substantially higher than where we are right now. Okay. We were pretty much, I don't even know where we were. It was like 68K or something. And so we're down a pretty decent number. You could say Bitcoin's down 15% in the last week or so, give or take. And that's a big dip. And did you buy the dip? Should you buy the dip? And my answer to that question, guys, is no. I did not buy any dip yet. Now, despite coming down to a key level that I'd given in advance to my VIP members, blah, 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 which that's not what this video is about. So we're not going to dive into it. I'm going to make it very easy for you, okay? The entire internet seems to not have a clue as to what's going on because they've been buying the dip here, 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 and now here. Okay. And the question, did you buy the dip, as I mentioned, is condescending in itself because, first of all, it says it in past tense. It creates FOMO. It's past tense, right? Like you already missed it. Did you miss the dip? Did you buy the dip? Bro, oh my gosh. You didn't buy the dip. You're so stupid. Right? That's the first thing. And second of all, these people don't know when the dip is going to stop dipping, right? Like that's the thing with bull markets is that the hopium is absolutely out of their ass. And it's funny because the same people that ask you if you bought the dip, when sentiment is not doing so hot, will zoom out to like a weekly chart and will say, oh yeah, man, this is our crazy big dip that we got going on. Meanwhile, you can see very clearly that, guys, this ain't no dip. All right. This ain't no dip. No chips with this dip. All right. This is not a dip, guys. We're still in the range. We still haven't done anything. We've talked about lower prices before on the channel. Am I suggesting that we're going to go to lower prices on the channel? Absolutely not. If you watch that video that I showed you a week ago, hello, my prediction was sub 64K. All-time high, which I do think we're going to make our way to all-time high. Does that mean that we're going to make our way to all-time high this very moment? No, it does not. And then 43K. Okay, so to answer the simple question, I'm going to make it very easy for you guys. Okay, I'm going to make it very easy. When everybody else was super mega bullish on Bitcoin up here, it was for one very, very simple reason. And the answer to did I buy the dip, or rather when I'm going to buy the dip, is going to be exactly when this happens in the other direction. And I'm going to show you that literally right now. On the 4-hour time frame on Bitcoin, let's hide market cipher. Let's hide the vector candles. Let's get naked right now, okay? Let's get a little bit naked. If you're following structure on the 4-hour time frame at these highs, we had, and I'm going to skip some points because they don't matter, but we had low, we had high, we had low, we had high, we had low, we had higher high SFP, and then we had low, okay? So it was this point at $70,000 where Bitcoin decided to flip bearish. It actually came back up to mitigate the range-based order block that we had at the highs. And then from there, down we went. And it has since done, okay, we've had a little bit of a slow bleed, dip, did I buy the dip? We've had a little bit of a slow bleed. But again, in my opinion anyways, definitely on the macro, we haven't dipped. We're still just in our range. So ever since that point in which we flipped bearish, we have just remained bearish on the 4-hour time frame. You can see we got lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. And it's taken a hell of a long time to get here, but we finally had our largest daily candle dump since we've had back in April of 24. Okay, so it's the largest daily candle close that we've had in about 2 months. And because Bitcoin's been doing absolutely nothing, it's been just, again, in its range and putting in lower highs and lower lows, but doing it in a very slow way. Okay, we finally got some volatility. Now, in the process of giving these lower highs and lower lows, we have been building up quite a bit of liquidity above us. Now, the problem with this liquidity that we can grab is we're in a very peculiar position in the chart, because if I come up on the daily time frame, for example, you can see obviously the TA that we're going to be doing in this range is macro TA. Okay, so we're in macro TA, yet we don't really have enough data to work with the scalp trades. Now, you could argue we got a pretty nice V-shaped recovery. Correct. However, for us to have my prediction come true, which was sub 64K and then all-time high, we would need to see price develop a little bit further in order to say, all right, we're going to actually come up and make a run for all of this liquidity. So although that this is something that's in our mind, we also need to play the scalp range for what it is. And because the scalp range hasn't had enough time, especially relative to our macro range here, we haven't had enough time in the scalp range. We're not in a definitive place in time or in price to say that we're going to make a run for the all-time highs. So anybody that asks you, did you buy the dip? This is why I say they have no idea. And I'm going to show you exactly what we need to see. And I said it at the beginning of the video. When we flipped 4-hour structure bearish at the highs, and I was the only one that was saying, guys, we're going lower. You're too bullish. You're too bullish. That is the point in which we were just on our slow downtrend. I mean, I went to Cancun last week. I could have shorted and just left it short literally for the past 2 weeks, and I would have been chilling. Okay, absolutely could have done that. And so for us right now to answer the question with confidence in did you buy the dip, we would need to see at least a 4-hour flipping structure at the very least, because again, remember, we are in a macro range, yet the structure that we have right now to work with does not accommodate the idea of coming to the all-time high. So although I do believe that we will see an all-time high strictly by the #1 rule on market cipher, which is the thicker the money flow, the more chances of divergences. And right now we have the thick money flow on the 3-day time frame, and we still have not taken these highs. We've talked about that significantly on this channel, especially on the live streams, which, by the way, the live streams are going to be coming back, guys. I'm just not feeling well. I got food poisoning and whatever from Cancun, so that's why at any moment I gotta go. That's why I'm not live. But to answer, did you buy the dip? We would need to see a significant time frame flip in structure in order to confidently say that we're going for these highs. So any other creator that's saying we're going all-time high, we're going to 100K, we're going to 200K, they don't know that, okay? They don't know that. The truth is that this dip could keep dipping just the same way that this pump just kept pumping earlier this year. We are still overextended to the upside. We are still in our macro range. And truthfully, we should be looking for longs at these lows of the range, which is, once again, we did bounce exactly off of a key level that I had given to my VIP members. However, is that position guaranteed to be a swing position? The answer is no, because right now we do not have enough price action to give us with confidence the idea that we're going to come up and take the highs. So no, I did not buy the dip. It is not time to buy the dip, in my opinion. And not until the 4-hour structure flips bullish. So you want to know the Bitcoin's most important key level right now? If you're doing structure, you got high, you got low, you got lower high, you got lower low. Okay, so Bitcoin is going to have to break and close, give or take, $64.7 thousand in order for me to flip back to macro bullish. Remember, the thicker the money flow, the more chances of divergences. And on the 3-day time frame, we've been talking about for a very long time how I do expect to come and take all-time high. I've been saying it for more than like 3 weeks. 64K, then all-time high, then 43K. And right now, right, we need to see that flip. And before that flip, there is no reason, absolutely zero reason whatsoever to get bullish. So right now, despite us having all this liquidity above us, we do know that we are on a 4-hour downtrend, and we do know that expectational order flow is to make a lower high for a lower low. So this general area is where I'm going to be looking for us to be making that 4-hour lower high to then make a lower low. And the reason why I'm saying we could go lower, and again, I'm not saying that this isn't the low. This does look like a pretty decent low. However, you need to ask yourself a question, okay? Every single time I do my analysis, I always build my narrative. And this is something that I do every day on the channel for you guys when I'm streaming. I help you guys build a narrative, and the candles are a story. You need to understand that the candles are a story. Why did we come up to the all-time high the first time we did it, and then twice? We're going to group them 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and then not take the all-time high. You need to ask, why did they do that? Why did the market makers not send the price higher when we were literally right there? And the answer, guys, it could be very simple. We haven't generated enough liquidity from the downside. Okay, we haven't grabbed enough stop losses. We haven't taken any. I mean, like this low here, when we put this low in, it was a very ugly low. And although when we were at this low, I gave this level as well to my VIP members, I was also saying, guys, you got to be really cautious. Also here, you needed to be very cautious here because we put in ugly lows. And what happened? Sure enough, however many months later, we finally ended up taking that low. Okay, so, you know, really, if we were to get a market structure confirmation within this 4-hour zone here for us to get a 4-hour lower high to make a lower low, in my opinion, not only could we come back to that wick that we put in yesterday, but why would we come back to that wick that we put in yesterday without actually coming down and taking this low again? Okay, you need to think, why are the market makers doing what they're doing? Remember, everybody and their mother is way too bullish. And so anybody that longed here, anybody that longed here, anybody that longed here, right? They were probably going to take profit at the all-time high. Maybe they watch my channel and they know the thicker the money flow, the more chances of divergences. But then maybe they didn't click the notification bell like you should, and they didn't see my update from 5 days ago when I was in Cancun in June. And I told you guys, man, the market looked like absolute ball sack. So, look, did I buy the dip? No, I did not buy the dip. Was that the low? It very well may have been, okay? It very well may have been. Why? Well, guys, you already know, man. I don't care which way price goes. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Price goes up, price goes down. We make money. I don't care about Bitcoin. I care about money. Look, we actually came down to mitigate an 8-hour order block. If we were to get this confirmation right now, in that we get this market structure flip, like I'm saying, then this I will favor more as the low. Objectively speaking, we are at the lows of the macro range. Objectively speaking, the thicker the money flow, the more chances of divergences. So, hey, again, I said sub 64, all-time high. If we shoot up to all-time high right now, would I be surprised? Absolutely not. I called for that like over a month ago, right? While everybody was 71K longing, and I was saying 64, 64, 64, sub 64. That's exactly why. And so, look, this could have been the low. If it is the low, congratulations to whoever bought the dip. You didn't know it was the low, so it's kind of a risky play if you ask me. And I don't think it's a sustainable game plan over the long term. But hey, cheers to you. Now, again, objectively, we should be looking for longs, in my opinion, now that we're at the lows of the range. But is this going to be the low? Is this the low? Did you buy the dip? Well, we don't know if this is the low, guys. We don't know. And the number that you need to be paying attention to in order to know if you bought the dip and it was the dip is 64512. Give me a 4-hour close. Give me an 8-hour close. 4 to 8-hour close. Give me a 12-hour close there. Yeah. Give me a 12-hour close above 64512. And a close with conviction. I don't want to see peanut close, okay? I want to see a close like this. Give me a candle close like this on the 12-hour time frame. Then I will ask, did you buy the dip? Until then, anybody that tells you, did you buy the dip? Tell them that they're full of shit because nobody knows where the dip is. And not only that, I mean, let's be real. They've been saying it here. 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 That's all I got for you guys today. Did you buy the dip?